Okay, it is 7 o'clock. We're going to come to order, please. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
Flag
United States of America.
to the republic which stands one nation under God, visible, liberty, and justice.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all of our fallen first responders, and note that Deputy Fire Marshal Luca Fiola died November 2nd in Norwalk after a battle with cancer. Thank you. I need a motion to approve the minutes. Second. Any discussion, changes? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, reports. I just wanted to note in your packet, there's a letter from Holly Hamilton and family about the firefighters' response to an incident in which her father and his dog were attacked by Yellow Jackets. And he actually was transported to the hospital. They were most appreciative of the response and the kindness. Chief, you've got a list already, but I would like you to comment when we get to it on the location study status and the location study?
Station study. Yeah.
Station study. Station study. And beyond that, I don't have anything. So Chief, you are up.
I have now 6 things to report on, and I'll be all of them, but I think that they are significant. In 2019, after several years of work, the school safety plan was developed in partnership with emergency management, police department, Board of Ed, and in that is a reunification plan. Reunification, if there is a school emergency of any type, students may be relocated to a separate facility and then reunified with their parents. And we know that from experiences elsewhere in the country, if done poorly, it re-traumatizes everybody involved, students and their parents. So it needs to be done thoughtfully, carefully, deliberately. And a plan has been developed. However, it has not been exercised. The only way that we get better at anything is through practice and learning from that. I think the intention was, and the police department, because they have school resources officers, led the process in developing the plan. Then Sergeant Wire and now Deputy Chief Wire were responsible for it. COVID got in the way, we haven't executed. So in conversations with Angeles Papa George from the Board of Ed, we talked about having a series of trainings between now and hopefully summer of 24 to exercise the plan. One of the problems when anybody develops a plan, if they've developed it for you, you don't internalize all of the machinations of that process. And I think that that's true in this case, that, you know, it's been developed, it's on a shelf. The people who have to exercise it and put it into play have never had that experience of through all of the issues that are incumbent upon them as part of the plan. So we've developed a timeline of activities that include an overview this coming Monday with the appropriate people from police department, fire department, emergency management, Board of Ed, health department is responsible for sheltering, and Julie DeMarco from Senior Center Social Services to understand what's in the plan. just a general overview, and with an outside consultant out of West Pond School Safety Unit. And then we will have a 4-hour program at the beginning of March to orient all of the supervisors, all of the administrators, central office staff, school principals, school psychologists, and school safety teams in a very large venue, maybe community theater, on school reunification, all of the details, and particularly as it relates to this. And I've encouraged Angelus to then, between March and the end of the school year, work with the school resource officers and the school safety teams to really work through at the school level each of the or all of the plan as it affects their schools, because there's different in schools, will react where they can relocate to in an emergency. Some are within walking distance, some aren't, but they need to work through all those issues, and then culminating in a 2-day full-scale exercise that would have to occur outside of the school year, where because we won't have students available, or maybe limited numbers, we would have proxies for them. We're relocating and work through all the mechanics of the reunification process. So that is an important project for the town of Fairfield, for the Fairfield Public Schools and emergency management. So that's going to go forward. Second, entry-level testing. We have interviewed 3 different firms that are current, which is iOS, and with the concern that we have is that process, or their price tag, because we asked them to, do all of the process and have folks from the state of Connecticut and the fire service do the oral interview assessment, that they would handle that effectively. The trouble is that it brought the price tag up to $250 per candidate. That becomes an obstacle, and the rest of small that I'm working with did as well. So we are investigating 2 other options. The ultimate goal is to bring it down to low and twice a year, or anything from a rolling testing process that you could go online any day of the week and take the test to, at least, if not that often, at least twice a year. That, my experience that I relayed to you earlier, that you run into somebody who's interested in, when can I take the test? Well, you just missed it. 2 years from now, we'll give it another one. Then you'll be on a list for 2 years. Well, there's no 23-year-old that's thinking in 4-year windows for an opportunity to get a job like that, to get a job offer. So we need to speed up the process between interest in a fire service career and an opportunity to test and get on a list. We continue to work through that. We're waiting for some proposals back, and certainly we'll make sure that you're aware of that. Third is every year or every other year, Aquarion updates their emergency. Fairfield gets its water from Aquarion, very large reservoirs that are created by some dams just to the north of us. And so their plan, if there is, and what brings us to light is, the conversations that we've had over and over again, is the unpredictability of the weather events that affect us. They are coming more frequently and more intensely. And I preface the rest of my comments with, there is no concern about the security and safety, reliability, integrity of any of the dams that are to the north of us, that are part of the plan that we're included in as a community. We're very confident with Aquarion's approach to this. They've been probably the model for all dam owners, certainly in the region. Everybody else is much smaller, and are are far less sophisticated than Aquarion in dam management. But there are hazards and there are inundation zones. Should there be a dam emergency, there are inundation zones that would affect very large swaths of the community, essentially the entire Mill River basin. It includes Riverfield School, Carleton Nursing Home. As you know, if there was a failure in part or in whole, it would have impact. Aquarion's responsibility in a dam emergency at any level, whether it's enhanced monitoring to an emergency stage, is to notify myself and the first select person. And everything after that is our responsibility. So we've always asked, what do your customers in the inundation zone know about the dam safety plan? Well, there's none. No communication. If you live next to the Mill River, you get your Aquarion bill. There's nothing that ever talks about an emergency plan or dam safety or inundation zones. And as a matter of fact, we are required to sign a non-disclosure agreement when we get the plan that says we can't talk about the plan. So we created
This time there was a dam failure.
in Connecticut,
Fairfield.
the 50s after the 55 hurricane.
And it's not just failures, it can be breaching the dam
Yeah, it's
A
always
failure of the dam at that point.
necessarily.
What?
It tops the dam.
Yeah, but like the dam could release the water so it didn't.
And they have a process where they release pressure on
Yes, I understand.
in advance of heavy rain. They know that it's going to rain, so they're lowering the impoundment. However, we have an obligation to the residents, and I don't want their first phone call about an emergency to be from Dennis McCarthy saying, hey, this is a damn emergency. What? I never even knew that there are people down the beach area that are oblivious to the potential that there might be a storm surge. And we talk about it all the time. So we are working through that process. We had a big meeting here with executive from Aquarion and other dam, South Norwalk Electric, First Taxing District in Norwalk, which have dams in New Canaan and in New York State, and they have their own inundation zone plans as well. We're working with Aquarion to make sure that, one, there is a communication plan that we all can agree on that includes them notifying their customers this is the plan. And I researched a lot of public notices on how to do it well, and found one that was a pipeline company. And, it prefaced with what a great corporate resident they are and all the good work that they do and all the benefit we derive from having the pipeline in the community and access to power, heat, and all that. And there's an emergency plan, and your role in that plan is to do this. So there are some really good models that I shared with you, with Aquarion. And so we're working through that process. And fortunately, I think we're very surprised, they didn't say no. As a matter of fact, Dan Lawrence, the vice president, said, this makes a lot of sense. Well, I have to obviously go through the corporate process to get approval to do anything, because obviously there's concern when we put, you recall when we put the evacuation signs and the staff gauge is down on the beach saying that if it floods, this is how high water could go. And people complained that, my property values will go down, and real estate agents were opposed, and some people were going out in the middle of the night and cutting them up. And we understand from that experience, we will make sure that we're doing this in a way that is very thoughtful and deliberate, not alarming or alarmist. So that's number 3. Number 4, we're working with a videographer that we've used in the past. The Connecticut Career Chiefs at our behest has agreed to coordinate a development of some PSAs. Some for local use. You remember that we shared with you the one that was done at the Fire Academy for recruitment. And the idea is collectively, it just is such a short attention span. that at the expense of a single video, the impact is very limited. And nobody can afford to do that very often. However, our approach is that we'll get the career chiefs and 3 departments to fund a video each. And then have those available with some dubbing in of local faces. So the first one's going to be produced in Fairfield. Subsequent ones will be in Willimantic, West Hartford, and I believe Meriden, or North Haven. And we will all have access to them. And then following year for other communities. And that way we can start producing high quality public safety videos about all of the range of topics. Lithium ion batteries around the holidays, what people are buying, both e-mobility devices, how to do that safely and care for them and recharge them. So that is a project that actually, I think they already started videoing this week today. Good. The station study has not gone forward yet, so we're still waiting on to kick off, but we haven't made it. And lastly, you asked about recruitment. We did have a firefighter and an engine company go to Wakeman, Deputy Kins. A firefighter, Brendan Murray, who has done it a number of times and certainly has a feel for students. The pictures, and I'll let the deputy carry on.
On my phone.
But she, the chairwoman,
I didn't realize, so you don't have a list under yours, so I didn't realize you were going to do it. Hey.
Roger.
that completes my report, and the deputy will add his report.
Commissioners, any questions?
Yeah,
Yes.
in relationship, chief, to the school, the educational process that, in the facilities.
Yeah.
Is this strictly you're revisiting it because there is already a plan in place?
Yeah, the plan, this is the plan. The plan, our discussion next Monday will be to evaluate, do we need to are we happy where it is? And then more formalized training will begin next March.
And so how often say that we revisit the plan?
Oh, we have to, they're required by the state of Connecticut, again, something that came out of the San Diego Advisory Commission. They have to submit the plan once a year and it gets reviewed by the state of Connecticut.
Very nice. Very, thank you.
We want to make sure that in addition to the producing document, that a little more live
Do it.
and actually exercise various elements. And I think that, the first time through is going to be very significant and a heavy lift, but there are ways to then do school by school, functional exercises that more easily digestible, where they won't take for effort. But that learning that happens at one school will affect all other 18 schools. And we'll include the private schools and the 2 universities in this.
Yes, please.
In reference to the enlightening of the citizens about aquarium, do you foresee that taking a year because they have to go through the corporate structure I envision you eventually getting what you want, which is have something in a notification in their bill, which from my perspective seems pretty illogical, but maybe Aquarian, even though I know they're very friendly neighbors, so shall we say, how do you foresee that happening? Clearly, that's critically important. That's very interesting.
So I would expect that by spring that we would have some sort of communication approved by corporate. And once they have included it, you'd be the first person to speak of it. It has to come from the corporation. Once they acknowledge that there is an inundation zone, just as we do with our our emergency planning for the beach, we can then reach out to the neighbors and say, hey, you're part of the plan. And should there ever be an emergency, your relocation, if you're on the east side of this flood, will be, Ward High School. And if you're on the west side, it'll be Mill Plain Road. I need to have the ability to tell people what they need to know in advance of the emergency. But the first word of this has to come.
Very interesting.
Also programming our phone systems.
Yes, yeah. And we're getting shape files from them so we can load it into the Fairfield alert system. And we've had very good luck with UI. UI, we're struggling with.
It helps the utilities. It's,
We're struggling with information from UI. And we approached them and said, we think that we have a better way of sharing information in real time. And they developed a dashboard that gives us the information. So now we can communicate to residents, this is where you can get information about the power outages and how long it will take to get it restored and how to report it. We used to have a very adversarial relationship with UI. We've never had it so much with Aquarion, but it's just been kind of, dormant discussion. So I think we're on the right.
Promising, very promising. That's great. Very
questions? Just in case you can't see Sheila, I want you to know that Commissioner Ozaki is online as well.
7:10, I joined, 7:10.
So as the chief was saying, at Wakeman Boys and Girls Club, they had a career fair the other night, and we sent Brendan Murray and also Pigeon Moore joined him to supply going. He's always a great foot forward. He's done this before, and he relates. He's got a great work ethic. He worked hard in the trenches before he came to this job, and he's got very good, very great hand skills, so to speak. So we got some good feedback from that. Good. We had a live burn at the Connecticut Fire Academy. Chief Barry went to visit and watch our troops, and he said they all performed very well. The personnel matters, we have had the retirement of Lieutenant Plant the other day. So tonight, lieutenant promotion was a vacancy in our ranks. In regard to facilities, and that's why I was on the phone. So we had a facility problem. So that's why I've been on the phone. Station 4 just had an issue. So dealing with that. The fob system at the training center here has been installed. We're hoping that it adds a little bit more security and accountability because we had just a regular keypad there, like a mechanical keypad, and a lot of people had to have those numbers. And so now this way it'll just make it a little safer since this is a sensitive facility. In regard to the radio project, there's still a lot of civil work, groundwork that's being done in the shacks at Roncalli Hall, Woodhouse Road, and police headquarters. The three transmit and receive major sites, transmit sites at least. Norcom is working on templates, which is some of the background things that they have to do set up for our radios. Got information from us, and to clear these things with the Connecticut technology. Have to oversee this this Connecticut system and have to approve all that we, the fuel pump, the never-ending saga of the fuel pump at Station 2. This Monday is the startup and the training for that. So the people will be coming down from that company. They'll start up the system. They'll also train James Ryan from DPW, our mechanics, and a few other people how the system works, and it's safety systems and alarm systems and things like that. So hopefully then we'll be able to rent the rental tank that we have up there and then start that great resource, which is 2,000 gallon tank, which we've been wanting for not only our own use for the so that's engine 3 doesn't have to come all the way down to headquarters from Jackman Avenue to fill up their tanks, you know, so it's a logistical issue, but it's also a problem during storms. You know, units going all over town to try to fill up because um, they're having to fill up to their tanks. As you know, there was a fire at Station 1's quarters, and right now they're back into Station 1. It's been cleaned, and Health Department has visited and given the seal of approval. And one of the last things we're waiting for right now is putting a kitchen hood back up, so at least they could do some more, you know, on stovetop cooking. The hood was supposed to come in today, but it came in damaged, so Saturday it comes in. So that probably means that it'll get installed Monday or so. And then at some point later from now, be a large hood, an industrial hood installed there. They've been working on the project. Vendor walkthrough just I think 2 days ago, just a coincidence. But this new system is going to bring in makeup air that's conditioned. It's coming from the roof down into the kitchen, so it's going to have a bigger footprint. So hopefully it'll give them good service. So we've bought new appliances to replace the ones that were.
Was there an insurance claim on that fire?
The town does have insurance. We're sending everything through risk management. So yes, they're doing their part. And right after, we did have risk management representative from the lieutenant from the firehouse that day, and also James Ryan, the DPW operations person, got a game plan. So that.
I won't feel that bad next time. Start a small fire.
Hopefully not, though, right? So, and that ends. Sure than ours.
I'll still start a fire.
And that's the end of my report tonight.
Thank you. Any questions, commissioners? Okay, anyone from Southport?
Can we back up?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. And I apologize for having to be remotely on the meeting today. So I just want to be clear, the cost for the kitchen work and everything is being run through insurance, and none of it's coming out of the normal operating budget?
Correct. Yes, yes, we are. We're getting receipts for everything, and we've been in contact with risk management and sending the receipts over.
Thank you.
Anything else? Joe, anything else?
No, Commissioner.
Southport. Track field. 1426.
1426, we're good.
Thank you. Sir, Norma, you're up.
Yeah, am I off mute?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're
so
off
I have
mute.
Thank you. A few things to report. We're gearing up for any shelter operations needed. One of the things we're doing is we do an inventory of the mass care trailer and the CERT trailers that are down at the training center. We're going to be doing that in November. We also are doing a pet shelter training. As a lot of you probably know, if we have an evacuation shelter is required, we have to have a place for pets to go as well. So we have some training in how to assist animal control officers as far as that goes. Let's see, we recently had a tour with the chief and deputy and operation managers for the schools regarding potential shelter that can be used under certain circumstances, and that was helpful. We have several members who are going to be giving mutual aid to Stamford for the Stamford Balloon Parade, which is a really big event. And lastly, which kind of dovetails into what the chief said, we have members attending a Zoom training for reunification centers. It's being sponsored by the Medical Reserve Corps, which is part of the Fairfield Citizen Corps program in the state. And that's going to be in early December, just an initial Zoom training. And that's it.
Thank you. You are always very busy as a group. Any questions,
We
Commissioners?
try to be.
Okay, I don't think we had any donations in the packet this time. Any old business, anybody? No. New business. I need a motion to consider and approve Provisional Lieutenant Brian Kibbe's promotion to the position of lieutenant.
So move.
Place of retirement. Okay, Cinto, I need a second. Ma'am, okay, any questions, discussion? Okay, all in favor?
If,
Before,
okay,
did you want to say anything? I know that you can't.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Thank you, Chief.
I've had the pleasure of working with original Kibbe, firefighter Kibbe, since he came in. And he's always worked very hard. Solid decision maker, very good as a firefighter and a mentor to those around him. He's been fulfilling the position that Lieutenant Plant had opened due to his illness for just under a year. I mean, by like days. And it's been seamless. It's going to be a very good asset for what we do and carry us into the future. As well as anybody could. Very happy for his achievement.
I may just add, Lieutenant Kibbe is well respected in the department. As Chief Case said, he comes well prepared for the position. It has been seamless, and I think that everybody in the department recognizes that quiet, confident approach that he has demonstrated for himself in that position. And I think, and I agree with Roger that the department will benefit for years to come as a result of this promotion. So congratulations.
Very much. I second that too. Brian's the
Commissioner Alzaki, did you want to say something?
yeah, yes, please, if I may.
Yes.
I've had the pleasure of working with Brian on and off for a while now and known him. And I'm really excited to see that he's moving from the provisional position to lieutenant. So really happy for that. And hopefully we'll get a unanimous vote on this.
And if it is approved, and I would hope that it is, there'll be a swearing in ceremony, most likely when the recruits come back from the fire academy, and we'll do a larger event.
So to make it official, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All unanimous. Congratulations.
very much.
Lieutenant, would you
Really good, I'll be
introduce your family?
This is my wife Anna, my son Jake, and my son Nathan.
To me, yeah.
Glad you could all be here for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you.
And for your sons and your wife, it's always good for you to hear how other people feel about your dad and your husband. And that's all very sincere from everybody, that he is widely respected in the department.
Thank you. And thank you for coming. Now to the next piece of this, I need a motion to consider and authorize the fire department to bypass one or more candidates to select a Connecticut Fire Academy recruit program graduate for immediate hire, and specifically candidate Devin Waters, who has completed the Connecticut Fire Academy recruit program. Motion?
Second?
Burke, Klinga. I'll comment You'll remember or may not remember that the last time we approved a list, we specifically in the resolution included the authorization to do this if we hit a period like this. The other thing I want to note, because I know it's of concern, so expect to do a number of hires for the next class, and the people we are bypassing will fall into eligibility for that hiring process. And so this keeps us in terms of staffing complement, it helps. So I need a motion and a second, which we've got. So all in favor?
I got
Aye.
comments, yeah.
Okay, and no opposed,
Joe's hand-
passed unanimously.
Joe's
I
hand
got
is up.
comments.
Joe's hand is up.
Joe?
Yeah, I did have some comments before the vote.
Oh, I asked before. Okay, sorry. Then
And
undo
again,
that vote. Go ahead and comment, Joe.
all right, so, when this was first, proposed at the meeting, I believe. it
Joe,
was
a
in
little
May.
louder, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to figure out how to get my audio.
I know, closer, Mike.
Yeah,
That's better.
Good.
all right, is that any better? I changed the mic setting.
Yeah, go ahead. Make your comments.
All right, so when this went through last time, at the May meeting, when it was discussed, I was under the impression it would have been used for critical staffing issues. If we have an issue with, when it was brought up that because of the contract, there may be, a bunch of people leaving all at once, which would have caused the problem. How many current openings do we have right now that we need to put this in play?
We have one position that will be open, and then we're anticipating additional hires for the February class. And our approach is to stay as current as we can and spread out that onboarding process. We have 4 coming out of the academy right now. We would hope to move quick enough that we would be able to have this Devin Waters participate in training with them when they come out of the academy, and they would all be assigned shortly thereafter to shift work. And then we expect that they will be hiring over the next 2 classes as well. So if we can stay current, it would make it easier to incorporate additional hires in the future.
So, again, how many openings do we have right now
One.
that we're filling for overtime?
One.
One. Because I thought we were running 4 openings, and I'm just trying to figure out why we're pushing this along.
So we have 4 in the academy. We're anticipating that next summer, by July 1st, we will have to hire 4 new firefighters as part of the contract settlement. So we are staying ahead of our hiring deliberately, as opposed to waiting and then hiring a number of people all at once. It makes it easier for the training to have people at various milestones in their training, as opposed to bringing in a large group.
Thank you.
Anything else, commissioners? So, going back to the vote, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Joe?
Oppose?
Passes 4-1. Any public comment?
I do.
Yes.
Oh, Pine Creek. We've always run 4 vacancies. And I don't know the answer to this question. We're gonna hire 4 that'll be 4 people over the current manpower if we put 4 in the February class.
We have to anticipate, so we may fill those 4 vacancies. And in anticipation of hiring the contract required vacancies in July, for July 1st, and potential retirements that we still haven't realized as a result of the contract settlement, there'll be a number of retirees.
I guess, what I'm saying is so that once this person comes on, we'll be for the first time ever in the history of the department at full staffing. In July, as I thought I heard you say, is that we're gonna put 4 people in the academy in February to fill those 4 vacancies in July?
Till we get to that, you and I know that we don't know where we will end up with staffing. I would expect that there will be additional staffing decisions that need to be made as part of this budget process and the budget process next year. We're gonna have staff, and if it means having those vacancies, the current vacancies filled to anticipate them, there will be a period of time that we will be at 100% full staffing, 24 members on each shift.
Right, but so I guess I'm still not, I thought I heard you say that they were gonna put 4 people in the, like, these guys.
I don't know what the number is. So yes, we'll put potentially 4 in the academy. I don't have from the,
We'd be like 4, we'd be 4 over.
there are 4 in the academy, will be 4 over until July 1st.
That's what I mean. I just think, I wasn't in the budget.
We have hired in for short durations above full staffing, except for the 4 vacancies, except for the 4, yes, we have. So if somebody anticipating a retirement, I have got authorization to hire early so that the retirement happens and then they fill that slot.
We discussed this prior about those 4 people getting into that academy. You and I had a discussion that maybe we might have retirements coming up, depending on what comes out of the contract. Can we do this? Well, actually, what we asked for is, can guys retire under that? The town said no, but then they gave you the authorization to hire those 4 vacancies. We get authorization to hire 4 over that?
Yeah. No, that's a decision that
We've never had.
don't have authorization between now and the February class by the hiring timeline or schedule for the February class. I will have to get authorization to do that.
That was been this.
Any other public comment? I don't think we have any other business that anybody wants to raise. I need a motion to adjourn, please. Oh. What? Joe, are you saying something or just move your chair?
Both, but we have the appointment of the nominating committee.
Oh, you're right. Thank you very much. My own thing. Thank you. It is my responsibility as chair to report, to name a nominating committee that will report back at our December meeting so that we can elect a new chair and secretary in December. And I'm naming Joe Alzaki as chair and Ginny Klinga and Michael Finneran as members, and the 3 of them will handle the nominating committee. Good. Maybe use highlights on my notes. So I
The whole
remember.
thing then.
Okay, now, motion to adjourn. Pinto? Burke? All in favor? Aye.